Hey everyone, welcome to Zebra Not Horse. Just doing another episode. I haven't particularly got a topic that I want to talk about today, so I might just ramble a little bit. Yeah, just came across this new TV show. I don't know if it's new, but it's new to me anyway because someone recommended it to me. It's on Channel 4 and it's called Astrid. Astrid is a character the main character of the show, and she's kind of like a criminologist. I don't know what she is actually because I'm only on episode 1. But basically, she helps a police force investigate this crime, this murder that's happened, and she helps with all the details because she sees things and it's like a puzzle to her that she wants to solve, and she's really interested in puzzles. I forgot to mention that the main character is autistic. This is why it's been recommended to me. And, from first expectations, from first, what's the word I'm looking for? First impressions, that's it. Sometimes I watch myself back and I'm like, why didn't I say the word I was supposed to say? Because my brain doesn't get there. Anyway, my first impressions of this was, so the female, I did my research, a little bit of research. The female main character who is autistic in this is not autistic in real life. That's a bit disappointing to me. I always like to think, if you're going to cast an autistic character, get an autistic actor to play that part. Anyway, so they present her in a way that is quite stereotypical, but it's quite male stereotypical. So in my impression is, if you kind of take Sheldon from The Big Bang, The Good Doctor, I've not watched it myself, so I don't know the guy's name, but I've seen clips, and the kid from Atypical, I have seen that, but it's been a while ago, so I can't remember his name. If you take all three of them and merge them into a character, I kind of feel that's what you've got from the first impression of this Astrid girl. I know the first episode is about building her character, building the scene, building all the characters. So they might give her more depth and more of a female perspective of being autistic. But so far, that's been my impression of how they've made. She's quite a rigid character. She doesn't like to be touched. She's very obviously different. And for a lot of out there female autistics, we know that we present very sociably in society, that we mirror other people and we act accordingly, and we manage to fit in very, very well under the radar. So they've made this character quite obviously stand out. And I know that's not the case for all autistics. We don't all blend in and we don't all stand out. There's such a variety of us, isn't there? Yeah, so that was my first impression of how they've created her. And I do love that she's got a mind that's different and she's able to tap into her seeing things that other people don't see, attention to detail. That's super cool. And then there was this scene where she had to make a phone call. Who likes making phone calls, right? Especially if you're autistic. And before she made this phone call, she basically wrote this script out. She told herself what she was going to say, what the normal response to that would be, and then what her response to that would be. And if they said this, she would say that. If they said that, she would say this. So relatable, right? I don't physically write scripts. I mean, in some situations I actually do, but in my head, there's a script going on. If they say this, I've got this as a response. If they say that, I've got this as a response. And I bet if you're autistic too, you can relate to that. So there's certain elements to the first episode that I was like, yeah, this is actually really cool because this is a window into something that I find really relatable. So I'm hoping as the series goes on that I can, just get more interested in how they're portraying her autistic traits. So yeah, that's just the one thing that I did today that I thought I would share. I found recently, in my life, I am out the closet autistic. I tell people, my friends know, at work they know, and I've created this YouTube channel So basically, I am out there. As soon as I got my diagnosis, I kind of felt like I didn't need to hide away anymore. Everyone's on a different journey. I appreciate that. I didn't think being autistic, like by a diagnosis, would have changed how I was in the world, but I'm actually like so proud to be autistic that I don't see the point of keeping it to myself. And also, it allows me to, I guess, say things that might be socially uncomfortable and to just be okay with that because I'm autistic. And if the people who I'm saying it to know I'm autistic, they kind of, it's not that they give me a free pass, but they can be more forgiving because they understand I'm not coming from a place of trying to be offensive, that I'm just coming from a place of speaking my mind, like, not just saying it as it is, but just, that's the way I process things and that's the way I'm communicating. I don't mean to cause offence to you with what I say. It's just that's where I'm coming from. So, for example, our next door neighbours are moving. And I had some friends over on Friday night. And I had said to them, I'm scared that a family might move in because it's a 4-bed and currently my next door neighbours are just a couple. And, with new neighbours comes a whole element of new stimuli. My garden is super quiet in the summer and I can sit out there and read my book, and the only noise that I kind of get is like if someone's cutting their grass. New people moving in next door, that is definitely going to change. There's going to be different noises that I'm going to have to get used to, different interactions with people, building relationships with people, not necessarily to build a friendship, but just to kind of feel safe in the neighbourhood. I want them to feel welcome, but I also have to understand, like, I don't know what I'm explaining here, but basically new people next door, that has an element of change. And when I shared this with my friend, they accepted what I said. In reflection, my husband said maybe they might have taken offence to that because they have children themselves. And I reflected and I was like, yeah, that's probably true. Like, a normal response would be to be offended by that. Like, why wouldn't she want a family living next door? She's such a child hater. That's not what I am at all. But I think my friends accept what I said and understand why I said it because they know I'm autistic and they know, okay, she means from a stimuli situation, she's meaning from like her routine, her expectation, her understanding of her environment. I'm not saying it in a way of being mean, of like, I don't like kids. I mean, I work with kids, of course I like kids, but yeah, it's just my husband helped me to realise it from a neurotypical perspective. I wouldn't have necessarily said that to anyone and everyone. I said that to my specific friends because they know and accept me for being autistic, and they know I can speak freely and frankly about things that are a concern to me. Yeah, but it's interesting because I like to reflect on conversations that I've had. Sometimes I'll meet up with friends, and like after Friday night, I said to my husband, did I say anything that was embarrassing or offensive or inappropriate? Because I always reflect, and then sometimes my mind sits on something for a while and I realise, should I have said that differently, or was that received the way I wanted to receive? So I often ask him to help me with that, because an outside perspective can see the tone on how I said something, the words I used, that I'm not necessarily always aware. So I find that quite helpful, that he can, help me analyse what has been said and done, how I've responded, how I've acted, and ways that I can improve in the future. It's not that I want to become like neurotypical in my responses and how I behave, but I want to appreciate who my audience is. I have really good self-awareness, I believe, but there's always going to be parts to how I present that it's not landing how I'm expecting, like how, what my aim is. Does that make sense? I just feel like that's been something that's happened recently that I can talk about and is probably relatable to other autistic people. I've realised as you get older, it's hard to do new friendships. it's so freeing to be in company of people who you can talk about your special interest and they get really excited to listen to you because you're passionate, and then you give them space to talk about what they're really excited about, and you listen because you can see the excitement that they have when they share. So much more better than doing small talk with people. And when you meet people, it's really hard to get past that level of how long do we do small talk for before we can actually find out what we're interested in. And it's so exciting to talk about things that you actually are excited about. And yeah, I find it fascinating to learn information about what other people's special interests are. It's not that it becomes my special interest, but I love learning from them about their special interest. Yeah, and I do have the kind of brain that doesn't retain information, which is really annoying. Because, for example, I love the Titanic. I mean, not necessarily the movie, but all the facts around the Titanic sinking, and it's just the people that were on board, why it sunk, and then the speculation around it, and all the theories that people have had, and the facts on the environment. I find all of that super, super fascinating, but my brain just doesn't actually remember the details. So it's really annoying. I would love to have a conversation with someone who is really super excited about the Titanic too, and then relay information to each other. But I would probably learn more than I'd be able to give, just because my brain can't retain stuff, and it's so annoying. People would tell me stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, I think I knew that, but then I can't give anything back because I can just almost repeat what they've said back to me, saying oh yeah, I knew that, and then yeah, I'm not sure if this is coming across well or not. This is another thing I want to say, so me doing this YouTube channel is more like me it's just my way of kind of communicating my thoughts. I'm not very good at doing entertaining, educational, or inspirational. That's not me. I'm just sharing who I am with you, and some people are not going to like that, and some people are going to find me dead boring. But this is just me being me, and I kind of want to just do this for years so I can look back on my own journey and the things that I felt I wanted to share at this time. I've only been doing it for 6 months, so I am still at that beginning stage of learning how to record information, pass it on for someone to be willing to watch and learn and engage with me. I hope I can remain safe and I hope I can share who I am with you and do it in a very safe way. The world is not necessarily a safe place, but this is my little space in the world, and I want to keep it and protect it and keep it safe. That's me, and that's me in a nutshell, because I don't really know how to do videos. So this has been a video about absolutely nothing and lots of things all at once. I don't think that makes sense. But thanks for watching, and yeah, see you soon.